Hey guys, DDOE here. On today's video, I'm going to be compiling a complete list of the entire Last Job Saga timeline. Now, this is a series that is years in the making, with a timeline spanning videos that originally did not even connect, that were retroactively made to be a part of the same timeline. So this entire universe is almost completely nonsensical if you're not in the know. And that's exactly what this video is for, because now you all, wonderful DDOE fans, are going to be in the know. Let's begin with the first arc, Big Boss's Rise to Power. Things are already about to get confusing because our first segment technically takes place in the future. At some point in an alternate dimension, alternate timeline, it's left intentionally vague, two characters have a very big fight off-screen. These characters are Drake, also known as Awesome Guy 2.0, and also Drake, who is known for the rest of this video as Daily Dose of Existence. The relationship between these two characters is unknown, but they appear to, in some way, be the same exact person in two physical forms. Later on, we'll see that Awesome Guy 2.0 will claim to be Daily Dose's creator, whatever that means. We will never truly find out. But anyways, in this hypothetical future alternate timeline battle, in order to win the fight, Daily Dose has to seal Awesome Guy 2.0 in a dimension beyond space and time. Awesome Guy 2.0 will eventually escape this dimension, but is now stuck 65 million years in the past of our prime timeline, in the age of the dinosaurs. At this point in time, he will don the mantle Evil Chad for reasons that will make sense soon. Now that prologue information is out of the way, we come to our first actual on-screen movie, Chad Chaddington. The beginning of the timeline starts when Chad Chaddington is sent 65 million years into the past to stop the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs, and he ends up killing the dinosaurs himself. There he encounters Evil Chad. The two fight, and Evil Chad ends up defeating Chad, but not killing him, leaving him trapped in the past. Evil Chad takes Chad's jacket to disguise as him, and returns to the future in his place. It is important to realize that Chad is still left alive, and he will inevitably come back in the future. And after that quick actual on-screen segment, we're back to another off-screen section. Here, a lot of events are going to take place. Evil Chad experiments on himself and gains new powers, mainly regeneration. The process leaves him deformed, and so he wears bandages to cover his face. During this time, Evil Chad invents cancer, yes, that's right, cancer, and earns him the moniker, the Human Tumor. Human Tumor begins to experiment by creating perfect clone soldiers of himself using his own DNA. These set of experiments would become known as les enfants drôles. These clones are divided into two categories. 1. Identical clones. These clones share the same appearance as Human Tumor. 2. Enhanced clones. These clones appear physically different and only contain the best aspects of Human Tumor's DNA. A certain enhanced clone would show favorable combat prowess, and therefore the attention of Human Tumor. This specific enhanced clone would be known as Action Man. Human Tumor gifts Chad's jacket to Action Man as a sign of his admiration. Human Tumor's notoriety for criminal activity would lead him to become a huge figure in the criminal underworld and eventually lead to his arrest. Now keep in mind the name Action Man in your head, folks, because this will become the main character of our story. Next up, Sigma Squad. Human Tumor is inducted into the Sigma Squad, a Black Ops group of criminals ran by Amanda Baller. Identical clones Human Magazine and Overdose of Existence are also part of Sigma Squad, along with the gamer criminal Hacker Man. The Sigma Squad have been ordered to wipe out a group of enhanced clones located in a secret jungle base. Many enhanced clones die in the encounter, but the Sigma Squad is seemingly wiped out. The only 3 survivors are Hacker Man, who was banished to another dimension, Human Tumor, whose regeneration abilities prevented him from being killed by the Omnicron cancer grenade, and Amanda Baller, whose helicopter was shot out of the sky, but she miraculously survived. Alright, this is the second off-screen section. The remains of Human Tumor are collected and regenerate, restoring Human Tumor's face to normal. As his network of criminal allies grows, Human Tumor uses his vast influence to work his way into the United States government. It is now that he dons his civilian persona, Drake. The criminal underworld, unaware of his previous identity as Human Tumor, nicknames him Big Boss. Drake establishes a new branch of the government, Drakehound, to perform covert ops for him. Another planet. A deranged man with questionable scientific abilities is imprisoned due to his insanity. This one is important because it introduces a key background character of the scientist. We've come to some more time travel shenanigans. In a movie way later down the line, The First Last Job, Action Man is sent into the past to alter various different events in the past, or more accurately, help them happen. Action Man is revealed to be one of the ones who kills multiple members of the Sigma Squad, including Subman, Mr. Bill, Sanitizer, and Amanda Baller, who had survived the helicopter crash. We can assume that in a hypothetical timeline where Action Man did not intervene, the Sigma Squad succeeded in their mission and wiped out all the enhanced clones. This is a bootstrap paradox where the aforementioned Sigma Victorious timeline does not ever exist, as Big Boss only has the means to send Action Man back in time due to Sigma Squad's failure. Action Man is also sent back to after the scientist is imprisoned and rescues him in order to become a member of Drakehound. Action Man is also sent back to the time of the dinosaurs in order to get Chad Chaddington back to the modern era for whatever reasons Big Boss desired. Chad is shot with a time displacement gun, reversing his time stream and sending him back to the future. Thus concludes the first arc of the One Last Job saga, and begins Arc 2, The Calm Before the Storm. Lightsaber Battle. A rogue enhanced clone and identical clone engage in a battle to the death. This is really all the summary you need for this story. It is rather small, but this next segment will explain why this is significant. The next off-screen section. Hacker Man returns from being banned in another dimension, just in time to witness the death of the previously mentioned enhanced clone in Lightsaber Battle. It seems that Hacker Man had some sort of connection to this particular clone, giving him the motivation to want to take over the world. Here, he gives up his trademark fedora, which likely had some sort of emotional significance. From this point onwards, Hacker Man would closely spy on Drakehound's endeavors. Hacker Man would come to develop a handful of fruit-based weapons. Most importantly, the BGD and the DCW, which will be explained further later on. These next couple of shorts will cover some Drakehound experiments that Hacker Man will be spying on. Febreze. A deranged individual kidnaps and murders civilians to test the effectiveness of his Febreze product for Drakehound. Cardboards. A new food is developed by Drakehound called Cardboards, which appears to serve no nutritional value and doesn't contribute to society in any positive way. The bathroom. Students Brayden and Grant lock themselves inside a bathroom before being rescued by Rick Astley. The classroom. Brayden and Grant lock themselves in a classroom with fellow student Cooper before finding out that they were never locked in the first place. Ghost Hunters, the Chair Witch. Brayden, Cooper, and barely relevant character Oscar found the Ghost Hunters. Oscar is quickly replaced by Brayden in order to get key information on the location of the entity known as the Chair Witch. They then go out into the forest and encounter the Chair Witch, barely escaping with their lives. Have you seen us? This is a television ad about the missing ghost hunters after the events of Chair Witch. Off-screen section 4. Under the orders of Drakehound, the scientist creates the entity known as Audius, a being with pure control of sound and has the ability of possession. At around this time, Action Man would retire from Drakehound and start a family. Ghost Hunters, Audius. After the disappearance of Cooper, Brayden enlists the help of Daily Dose of Existence in order to locate him. Cooper has been possessed by Audius and presumably kills Brayden. It is unknown how Daily Dose survives Audius, but he stops all contact with the Ghost Hunters after this, leaving Grant as the last remaining member of the Ghost Hunters. Off-screen section 5. Cooper and Brayden, under the influence of Audius, are taken to Drakehound and are groomed to become their agents. Arc 3. Beginning of the End, also known as the Content Arc. Now, in the Content Arc, we're going to be starting off on Content 8, because Contents 1 through 7 don't actually provide any sort of lore value to the story, but are nonetheless implied to be canon. Content 8, The Fate of the Content. Daily Dose of Existence talks with another unnamed Drake clone about how he made a deal with the devil, and that his time is almost up. Using Daily Dose's fourth wall-breaking abilities, he is able to lose the entire video's budget, sending Daily Dose to the void and erasing the other Drake clones from existence. Content 9, The Rise of Content. Daily Dose of Existence's budget returns once the 2020 stimulus checks hit, letting Daily Dose return from the void of bankruptcy. Daily Dose is then greeted by the content god, who is secretly Big Boss in disguise, claims that he will send Daily Dose to hell unless he makes 100 quality videos. After a training montage, Daily Dose summons the content god back, then tricks him with a video camera supposedly filled with 100 videos, but it's actually filled with explosives. The two of them engage in a fight, with Daily Dose seemingly emerging victorious. Daily Dose mentions that he learned to fight from Brayden. Seemingly this was during his time as a ghost hunter. In the middle of the fight, Content God placed a content lock on Daily Dose, a legendary artifact that forces the afflicted victim to continually produce YouTube content. Fortunately, a deity known as the Relic God arrived to provide assistance to Daily Dose. He gives him the Relic of Scabulon, which, when combined with 4 legendary stones, spawns a key capable of opening the content lock. Content 10, Mortal Content X. Daily Dose of Existence scours the world in search of a legendary stone when he encounters the Exposition Hermit, who gives Daily Dose the Plot Convenience Stone. He then guides Daily Dose to Hell, which contains a map to the 3 other stones. While in Hell, Daily Dose is overwhelmed by the power of the Antichrist, a tree-like artifact, and secretly steals it along with the map. After a battle with the Guardian of Hell, they both escape, but Exposition Hermit gets assassinated at the last moment. Content 11, The End of Content, Part 1. Big Boss reveals himself to Daily Dose, who at the moment is going under his Awesome Guy 2.0 persona. He reveals his master plan, that he was Content God all along, and the content lock was a diversion to get Daily Dose to bring the Antichrist to Earth. Under Awesome Guy 2.0's control, the Antichrist would trigger an interdimensional war that would end up destroying the planet. Seeing no more need for Daily Dose, Awesome Guy 2.0 effortlessly defeats him and locks him away in a meme mountain where internet phenomena of years past are kept. Off-screen Section 6. Relic God uses the legendary map to locate the rest of the legendary stones for Daily Dose. Awesome Guy 2.0 hunts down Relic God and kills him. Before he does, Relic God pleads that Awesome Guy 2.0 respect his final wishes and give Daily Dose his last will and testament whenever he meets him next. Awesome Guy 2.0 is surprisingly honorable and does as he says before finally killing him. During this time, the scientist would go mad, believing himself to be the character O'Hare from the Lorax. Arc 4, Armageddon, also known as the Meme Venture Arc. Meme Venture, Part 1. An elderly man, later revealed to be John Cena, informs an unnamed meme lord who looks like Brayden but is a completely separate character, that he must use a Pepe to reach the meme mountain where Golden Pepe is being held. This is the same meme mountain where Daily Dose currently resides. It is then revealed that the world is currently undergoing multiple different supernatural disasters. This is likely a result of Awesome Guy 2.0's Antichrist artifact attracting extra-dimensional threats. We then take a break from the main Meme Venture movie to cut to different events happening during this meme-pocalypse. The Cheese Grater. A man who can turn into a deadly cheese grater terrorizes multiple people. Dab-pocalypse now. An infection is causing people to become dabbing zombies, which is eventually overcome through Gangnam Style. Meme Venture, Part 2. After the tragic loss of John Cena, the Meme Lord is able to obtain the Golden Pepe, becoming the Meme Grand Master in the process. For the time being, this is able to negate the powers of the Antichrist and restore order to the world. Meme Venture 2. In a cave on Meme Mountain, the Meme Grand Master transfers the Golden Pepe's powers to another unnamed Meme Lord, which kills the Grand Master in the process. O'Hare attempts to take the Golden Pepe from the new Grand Master, sending his army of memes to kill him. For a time, the new Grand Master is able to ward off the memes, with help from a returning Rick Astley. But eventually, O'Hare is able to claim the Golden Pepe. This victory is short-lived, however, as the new Grand Master infiltrates a Drakehound base and reclaims it, returning it back to its original place in Meme Mountain, and giving up the Grand Master powers in the process. Because the Golden Pepe's power is given up, the Antichrist's power slowly begins to restore. Final arc. The Many Jobs of Action Man. First Last Job, the turbocharged prequel. Action Man is forced to work for Drakehound again after Big Boss kidnaps Action Man's family. The missions Action Man undertook are listed under the Action Man Timeline Disruption section. After he completes these missions, Big Boss does not release Action Man's family. It is also revealed that Big Boss has become the President of the United States of America. One last job. Action Man continues to work for Drakehound in the hopes that his family will be released. Under direct orders from Big Boss, Action Man is sent on a solo mission to obtain a set of BGDs, also known as banana gun devices, laser guns in the shape of bananas. He is sent to an auction to buy the BGDs, which is then interrupted by Cooper and Braden, who are secretly sent there by Big Boss to test Action Man's conviction. Cooper and Braden are both killed in this combat. Action Man is about to be killed by the auctioneer before being rescued by Big Boss. He then informs Action Man that because he had to be saved by Big Boss, he does not count the mission as being completed solo, and thus refuses to release his family. Escalation of the jobs. Action Man is kidnapped by government agents that resemble Cooper and Braden, but again, they are not the same guys. He is then instructed to defuse a bomb. Action Man attempts to cover up his identity by claiming to be a janitor and saying that he just cleans toilets, clearly a euphemism for killing people in his line of work. And Drake, under the appearance of the president, shows up to give Action Man an award for his good work, revealing that this was yet another test. He then informs Action Man that the Earth is under attack from aliens, and promotes him to Space Force General. Off-screen Section 8. Action Man participates in an unseen space war and saves the planet. Action Man then goes on an unknown mission in Japan known as the Tokyo Job, where he learns the Raging Demon technique. It is important to know here that the Tokyo Job can technically exist anywhere between One Last Job and One Last Job 2, but putting it here makes it nice and cleaner. Also at around this time, O'Hare would take Braden and Cooper's corpses and revive them using cybernetics to become Drake Rider No. 1 and Drake Rider No. 2 respectively, killing Baby Yoda. Action Man goes on a team mission to kill an entity known as Baby Yoda. With him is a character who resembles Daily Dose of Existence, but this is actually Punished Venom Drake, an identical clone created with altered memories of Daily Doses in order to avoid suspicion of the real Daily Dose's disappearance. Venom Drake's whereabouts past this point in the timeline are unknown. One last loose end. Action Man has been sent to finish off Chad Chaddington, who has finally returned to the present day after his time stream got scrambled by the time gun. Chad Chaddington's flow of time has been reversed, much in the same way the characters are in the movie Tenet. From Action Man's perspective, he finds Chad's corpse magically reanimate, the two struggle, then Chad runs away. But from Chad's perspective, he runs into Action Man before fighting and subsequently being killed by him. Content 11, The End of Content, Part 2. In the 2 years since The End of Content Part 1, Daily Dose has accumulated enough budget in order to escape his prison. When he escapes, he finds that the entire world is in ruin thanks to a fully blossomed Antichrist. Daily Dose effortlessly destroys the Antichrist tree, stopping any further damage to the planet. This draws the attention of Big Boss / Awesome Guy 2.0, who finds Daily Dose and gives him the Relic God's last will, which contains the legendary stones and thus the content key. However, as per Relic God's last request, instead of using the key to unlock the content lock, Daily Dose uses it to unlock his own content potential, giving him a huge power boost. As Daily Dose and Awesome Guy 2.0 engage in their final battle, they find themselves at a stalemate. Without any energy left, and with his iconic jacket destroyed, Daily Dose uses the last weapon at his disposal, his trusty pistol. Awesome Guy 2.0 is seemingly killed, shot through the right eye. Daily Dose returns home at last, dons a new jacket, and returns to making YouTube content for the rest of his days. In a post-credits scene, Awesome Guy 2.0 is seen alive, but his regeneration has finally lost its power. The end of the timeline. One Last Job 2. Jobs of the Patriots. One last cut. Action Man is sent by Big Boss to recover a weapon known as the Demon Core Watermelon, a device that can transfer a person's consciousness. He is stopped by both Drake Riders, who engaged in a ranged and melee combat with Action Man. As Drake Rider No. 1 is decapitated, his head is sent towards a nearby bystander, Ghost Hunter Grant. Both Drake Rider 1 and Grant are killed as Drake Rider 1's head explodes. Action Man and Drake Rider 2 are close in skill, but Drake Rider 2 is powerless against his Raging Demon technique. As Action Man notices the DCW has disappeared, Hacker Man steps out of the shadows to explain his evil plan, revealing his discovery and infiltration of Drakehound, and his secret involvement in several of the previous movies. Hacker Man at first has the upper hand, but after stealing one of Hacker Man's swords, Action Man puts up a more even fight. However, Hacker Man proves to be the more capable swordsman and leaves Action Man defenseless. Moments before death, Hacker Man is killed by Big Boss, mirroring how Action Man was rescued in the first One Last Job. Big Boss invites him to step through a portal and have a chat. On the other side of the portal lies the same abandoned factory that the first One Last Job took place in. Big Boss reveals Action Man's true origins to him, and reveals that this whole time he was merely testing Action Man so that one day he may take on his legacy and replace him as the new Big Boss. However, Big Boss's near-death experience with Daily Dose, combined with Action Man's noble actions, has caused him to change his mind. Big Boss wants Action Man to carry on his own legacy and make his own choices. Big Boss then finally releases Action Man's family. As Big Boss slowly succumbs to his regeneration failure, he speaks his final words.
You only ever needed one last job. No. The world would be better off without jobs.
He then gives Action Man his eye patch and sword as heirlooms before finally dying. Action Man lays his jacket over his body, returning it back to him after it was given to Action Man all those years ago. The One Last Job saga ends with Action Man walking into the sunset, a reverse of the first shot of One Last Job 1. And that is the conclusion of the One Last Job saga. And while I am almost certain that this saga will be expanded in the future, for now, we can look forward to the next spectacular cinematic universe.